see. I want to make sure that I can see any of your questions, so I'm pulling up the feed right now. And we'll see if I can see it. There we go. I'm seeing it. There we go. Hey everybody, happy Thanksgiving. It's tomorrow. Can you believe it? Oh my goodness, sometimes these things sneak up on us. And you know, we're having a really quiet Thanksgiving this year because it's been so busy. Usually we host this huge Thanksgiving and we just pack the house absolutely filled with people and have a huge meal. And this year, we're going to be a little sleepy. We might have a few neighbors over who don't have somewhere else to be. But besides that, we are going to just have us family here, which still makes for 11 people to feed. But, you know, that's what we feed every meal. So that's pretty normal. So today, we have been doing a lot of prep. I have had lots of help in the kitchen today as we've had pies getting made. We have apple pies. We make real pumpkin pie from the pumpkins that we grow ourselves, and we don't use any canned ingredients, no evaporated milk. We use cream instead, and it is so good. And so we've just been really enjoying that. Some dinner roll making and all sorts of stuff. What are you guys making today to prepare for Thanksgiving? Let me know. Tell me what you're doing. Did any of you guys start my fermented cranberry sauce? Has anybody tried that yet? Let me see. I'm not seeing the comments come through here, so let me just look and see. Oh no, we don't want to hear me. Has anybody? Okay, there we go. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay, now I'm seeing the comments. All right. So we have some traditions around here that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today regarding the day before Thanksgiving. So I'm going to get to that in a few minutes, and then we're going to show you today how to make something that is very non-Thanksgiving traditional, and that's hardtack. And I'm going to be sharing why with you in just a minute. But first of all, I thought I'd let you know what we're doing around here today. And today is Turkey Butchering Day. You guessed it. We've been raising that turkey, actually several turkeys, for quite a while. We have some heritage breed bourbon red turkeys, and they wander all around our property and forage and feed themselves all year long. The hen has chicks. She raises Thanksgiving for us every year, and she teaches them how to eat, and then we go ahead and butcher them the day before Thanksgiving. So our turkey has never been frozen. Isn't that amazing? That is so great. What else? Let's see. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm seeing your comments. I see you guys there. It's so great to see you guys. You missed the fermented cranberry sauce. The video is on our channel and on our Facebook page. So if you want to go check that out, you can. I know it's a little late now for Thanksgiving, but that's okay. You might want to make it later for all those Thanksgiving leftovers, right? So anyways, we've been butchering turkeys, and we still have to make the Thanksgiving stuffing. We make a chestnut stuffing here because we have these beautiful chestnut trees, and so we actually harvest the chestnuts and go through that whole process to make an amazing chestnut stuffing. If you have never tried that, you have got to give that a try because it is so good. It is just amazing. All right, so I know we put a lot of emphasis on being thankful, which is wonderful. We want to be thankful. But as Americans, we have so much stuff that I think sometimes it can be really hard for us to actually feel thankful for all the stuff. We've always had stuff. We'll have more stuff later. We've never really been hungry. We don't know what that's like. And so Thanksgiving for us is kind of a theoretical thing. You know, yeah, we're thankful for everything we have, but if you don't know what it's like to go without, then, you know, what are you really thankful for? Is that message really coming across in our hearts? Do you guys understand what I mean? Give me a thumbs up or a heart or something if you get what I mean there, because, you know, it just seems like we're in the land of plenty, and it's hard to understand what it was like way back when the Pilgrims first came at the very first Thanksgiving to be without everything. And so something we do for Thanksgiving time, the night before, is what we call Mayflower night. And this is an evening where we try to in a very, very small way, recreate the challenges that came before the first Thanksgiving. This is so important to us because, you know, we need to know that all of the stuff that we have, all of this food, all of the goodness, all of the social structure that we have, you know, being able to go to the emergency room or call the police or get help when we need it, could all be gone again. It didn't exist in the beginning of this country, and it could disappear again at any point. And so it's so great to go back a little bit. So what we do in our family, we try to make it fun for the kids, is we pick a small kind of cramped spot. We all sit on the floor. We turn off all the lights. I actually have an audio play of a wood ship creaking in the ocean. So I turn that on so we feel like we're in a boat, and we light a lantern instead of the regular lights that are going. And we eat a meal that is not a normal meal, but it's a great lead up to our Thanksgiving feast. What we do is we get out some cheese the day before. Now this is a homemade cheese, and we get this out and slice it up, and we let it get kind of hard and a little bit stale and not so great. You know, we don't want it to go bad, that's for sure. We still want it to be good and edible, but we make it get a little bit, you know, kind of not so great on the outside. And then I usually cook a big roast. This is a venison roast, and I cook this up, and then we shred it and we leave it out and we let it dry, and I salt it really heavily. And then we make something called hardtack, which is also known as ship's biscuit. And we do that with just flour and water and salt. And I'm gonna show you how to do that here in a second. But we do this kind of a meal to kind of try to simulate the meals that they would have eaten on the Mayflower as they came over to, as the pilgrims would come over. Has anybody ever done anything like this? I got this idea on the internet years ago, so I'm curious, has anybody else ever done anything like this in your own home to try to help your family have a better perspective of what it was like back in the first Thanksgiving? Anybody? So we salt down this meat to make it be like what they used to call salt horse. Now, of course, this is not anything near an authentic salt horse, which would have been much more like salt beef, which would be kind of more like a jerky. That would be more correct. But, you know, I'm not going to make that amount of jerky, and it does need to be edible for the toddlers in my house. And then, like I said, we want to make sure that the cheese is good. Now, other people that I have talked to who have done something like this would even take a dark ale and leave it out on the counter for a few days, let it go flat and let it get kind of icky, and let all the kids have one sip of a dark ale. Because of course on the Mayflower, they couldn't drink the water. The water went bad. You know, the ale even went bad in the Mayflower, but they could still drink it. It didn't make them sick. So today, my son is going to come and join us and show us how to make the hardtack. Hey, come on in, Tristan. All right, this is Tristan. Why don't you come on over here since the ingredients are over here. Everybody give Tristan a thumbs up or a heart. This is Tristan, and he's going to join me. Now, Tristan, you are the hardtack maker in our house. So why do you make hardtack for us?
Because I like it a lot. It's really good for hiking and backpacking, and because it's lightweight, and I just like the taste of it.
Yeah, so he actually uses the hardtack really functionally. Like, we started making this for Thanksgiving, and since then we had, look at all those hearts and thumbs up you're getting. Isn't that great? It takes a minute, but you know, it is such a great food because it stores really nearly indefinitely on the counter or back on the shelf. It is lightweight, it is easy to carry around, it's not going to fall apart in your backpack. But you know, one of the downsides of hardtack is that it's really hard, isn't it?
It's hard.
It's hard to chew. So when you make it authentically, it's really hard. But you know, that is great. They also would call this ship's biscuit. Yeah, really should teach this side of the natives too. Absolutely, absolutely. Try the pemmican. That would be so good to do too. That would be great. So I'm watching the comments if you're not catching my line of thought here. So we are going to go ahead and make this hardtack today and show you guys how to make this. This is great for Mayflower night. It's great as a survival food. It's good as a backpacking, hiking food. And I think people around here even sneak it as a snack if I don't have enough of a snack out for them, huh? Yeah, okay, so can you tell us how to make that?
So we have 4 cups of flour here.
Now what kind of flour do you have?
That's all-purpose flour.
So this is the white flour, and that's important because you don't want the germ in the flour because it'll go rancid, because this is supposed to sit around. Now of course if you're going to eat it tonight for Mayflower night, it's not that big of a deal. You could use whole wheat flour, but for this we want it to be able to sit on the counter and on the shelf, so we're going to go ahead and make it with the white flour. So 4 cups of white flour. Okay, what else do we have?
We have 2 teaspoons of salt.
We have 2 teaspoons of salt, so go ahead and put that right in. Okay, and you mix that up. And then
we have 4.
Get it mixed up real well. There we go.
We have 4 cups of water here.
Okay, so we have 4 cups measured, but we don't necessarily want to use all 4 cups, right?
Right.
Okay, so we're going to just pour it in slowly until it makes a nice dough consistency, because we want to be able to roll this out. So you want to go ahead and give us a little bit in there, Tristan? Yep. Pour a little in there. Good. Now we're just going to make this a nice consistency to be able to roll. Go ahead. Now these things taste like almost nothing. They really get hard. You know, I don't even want to call them a cracker because they're thicker than a cracker, so they're really hard to bite into. They're really good to be able to dip in a liquid and let a liquid go ahead and add a little bit more there and let it soften up for a few minutes, because we're going to cook this for a long time. This is going to be kind of like almost like a biscotti, if you've ever made a biscotti, where you're going to cook it and then you're going to cook it again and let it really dry out, except for it's going to be a lot harder than a biscotti. There we go. Now I think we're getting there, huh? Okay. And this again is great hiking food, it's great backpacking food, and it's really good emergency food. I know a lot of people are concerned about building up their emergency food stores. And you know, some of the problems with that is that it's really expensive if you have to go buy these emergency foods. But this is a great food. Now of course, being that it's white flour, you wouldn't want to have to depend on it for long, but it will at least fill bellies. If you wanted this to be more appetizing for a sooner meal, like you just wanted to make it hard, but you're going to use it to go hike in the next just couple of days here, I think this is good. I think we're about there. Then you could add a little fat to it, and that would make it much, much more palatable. If you had some melted butter in here or some olive oil, it would make it really good. Okay, so we're just going to turn this right on out. All right, so everybody, are you going to go throw them into our stew when out camping? Cheryl Young. Cheryl, thank you. Yeah, you throw them into the stew and make them that way, so to let them soak a little bit, huh? That would be a great way to do that. So are you going out for Thanksgiving to somebody else's house, or maybe family's house, or are you hosting Thanksgiving, everybody? Let me know what you're doing. Oh, thank you very much for the shelves in the background. Yeah, we like our canned goods, but you know, I love how good food also makes great decoration. You know, just the things of life often make decoration. Now you can't see it right here, but there's all sorts of cast iron hanging up just right here, right above us. And you know, that makes great decoration too. The herbs and the spices hanging in bunches of onions, they all make great decoration, don't you think?
Yeah.
I like them. Okay, you want to roll that out a little bit more? So we're going to roll this out to about a 1/4 inch thickness. And staying home. Yeah, sometimes we stay home. Sometimes the work interferes, doesn't it? And you gotta be on call. You know, when you have a homestead, you're always on call. The animals are always prone to get sick or have a problem right at the wrong moment. Really, breaking fences is probably the bigger problem we have.
Yeah.
We don't have so much of a problem with animals getting sick, but But yeah, you know, you feel like you're always on call. And there we go. Okay, so that's good. Now, what are we going to use to cut this? What are we going to do with this?
We usually use a
Pizza cutter?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to go grab that? I don't
Sure.
think we pulled that out. And I think we need a fork too, don't we?
Yeah.
To stab that?
Yep.
Good. Oh, I can't wait to be able to go to oldest daughter's houses and different, you know, different children's houses. They're all home with us here, so that's a really special season for us too. We're really happy to be able to have them all around our table every meal. But one day it'll be fun to go to their house too as they get older. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and slice this into little squares, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kind of just like a cracker. Now I got nice and doughy mixing that. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna slice these into the little squares and then we're gonna poke them so that they cook evenly all the way through. So we're gonna take a fork and just really give each one a poke. And we're gonna put them on a cookie sheet. If you want these to last long, you do not want any oil on them. So you don't really want a greased cookie sheet. If you're just gonna eat them quickly, grease away if that makes you feel better. We are actually gonna put ours on a silicone pad on the cookie sheet so that it doesn't stick and I don't have to use any oil or any fat in there to go ahead and keep them from sticking. So you got them there?
Yeah.
Okay, be careful with that. Great. Can you make them sweet? You bet you can if you want to, but of course if you make them sweet, you're gonna need to eat them right away. You just put some sugar or some sweetener in. But you know, you don't really want them sweet for if you're gonna try to store them and put them on the shelf. So let's see, we're gonna have to poke just a little faster than that. He's doing a really thorough poking job here. All right, so we're gonna transfer these onto that cookie sheet and we are going to bake them for about 30 minutes at 350 degrees just to get that initial bake done to get them cooked. And then we are going to turn the oven down to about 200 degrees and we are gonna let them bake for about another 4 hours. And you know, that is gonna make them really hard and really able to last. It's also gonna make them very hard to chew, like we were talking about a minute ago. You can't just take a bite of that, you know, it doesn't end up biting real well unless you've soaked it. But it does make them last a really long time. So that's how we're gonna do it today. If you were just making this and wanted to eat it right away or within the next day or two, that 30-minute bake would be plenty of time. Anything that you could add to it to make it a little bit softer, if you wanted to eat these right away, you could definitely add just a little bit of sugar. Like I was saying, a little bit of butter. I'd go with maybe a 1/4 cup of butter for using this 4 cups of flour and try that. Anything like that is going to make it much better. Wow, okay, so I'm reading some of these. Any tips on processing turkeys? Wow, turkeys are big. So my best tip is to get a big killing cone because that really, really helps with the processing. And please use every part you can of the turkey. Save all of the giblets, save the neck, save everything, and try to use it all. It's so good, and it's just so important to me to use everything I can of that turkey. Yeah, okay. They look a little longer than the chickens. Yeah, they took longer. Yeah, they do take a little bit longer to process than chickens. They do take a while to go and process because they're so big. Okay, so I think we didn't cut these guys all the way through, so let's get this. Thank you. And will you grab that cookie sheet and let's go ahead and just put it on the cookie sheet. It's right over there. Thank you. All right, it is such a blessing to have kids in the kitchen. I love that, having kids working with me in the kitchen. Thanks for coming and doing this with me. And sometimes now I will just find Tristan in the kitchen making these because he wants to go for a hike or a backpacking trip. And he wants these ready to go. So we've got a few that are sticking a little bit. We could have used a little more flour on the bottom, but they're gonna turn out just great. So you know, you couldn't get any simpler than this. There are historical records of the Vikings using a food almost exactly like this for their long voyages at sea. And that's, it's also known as a ship's biscuit, this hardtack. And so it's a great food to have because it really packs well. And as long as you don't get it wet, it's going to last for a really long time. Feathers make great quills. Oh, how fun. Wouldn't that be a fun project? That would be great, huh? We can make some feather quills. You know, I'm amazed too at how many feathers you get off of a bird. We do a goose for Christmas. And you can really get a lot of feathers off of a bird. And, you know, pillows and things like that are not all down. A lot of times they are feathers too, the small feathers. And I have saved them a few years. I've saved mostly the down from the geese so that I can one day make my own down pillow. But you know, it takes a lot of down to have an all down pillow. All right, guys. Well, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have a great time. Enjoy your family. Enjoy all... Oh, okay, I'm catching a little bit more of the comments here. Yep, let the kids help in the kitchen, even those little guys that make a mess. It will pay off in the end. They will know how to cook. And that is something that is actually fairly rare in this day and age, and it's so important. So let them help even though they make a mess right now. It's worth it. And, you know, I know you're nervous about your first kill, but... you know, when you're feeding your family, if you know that that animal has had a great life and has been raised well, and you can make that kill nice and humane, then you can feel really good about it because it is better than, I don't know, 99% of the turkeys that people are eating out there, because those things are raised so badly in the store. Raise your own if you can, or please find a farmer who is raising them well out in the air, in the open, and in the pasture. It's so important. Hey, you guys, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. It's great to see you. If you have the chance to do a Mayflower night, I know your time's getting short, but just have some meat and bread and cheese around a fire and read a book about the first Thanksgiving so that you can all remember what it was like and enjoy your time, and that'll set you up to enjoy your Thanksgiving feast even more. You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving. Goodbye. Say goodbye.
Bye.